Hello there, this is the Misanthropic Lord, and this is the first of something I'd like to call a misanthropic musing. Today I'm looking at Kenshi, a game with a combination of different genres, based on an exotic, vaguely Eastern cultured wasteland. If that in and of itself does not raise an eyebrow, this game has also been in early access since 2009, which in development terms is
forever.
The reason I want to talk about this game in a musing style is because I can't do the game justice if I show a straight gameplay video. Instead, I'm going to show you some clips about early, mid, and later game to show you that Kenshi is a game that creeps up on you from seeming mediocrity to reveal some striking depth and complexity. When first starting Kenshi, you can choose new games that cater to the play style that you want to play as. For example, there's an RTS resource management and unit battling style, You Against the World RPG, Wasteland Merchant Simulator, and an I Hate Myself and Want My Games to Hate Me Too Misery Fest. The start list is impressive, but is it just a paper tiger? With all of these different styles of gameplay, wouldn't one assume that the game overall is going to suffer? Yes, hypothetical one, it does suffer because of it. The larger and more valid gripe of this game is that because of the jack-of-all-trades decision for genre choice, Kenshi ends up being a master of none. The world is sparse, the NPCs are cardboard cutouts, the graphics are iffy, at best, and glitch-tastic. Overall, if you're looking for a story-rich environment, the game lore is nearly non-existent. More recent indie-ish games like Pillars of Eternity or the more comparable Wasteland 2 give more and better story and fleshed out specific gameplay. Though both of these games had larger budgets and larger teams, they also didn't take 6 years in constant, consistent development to create an RPG that has no specific quests, let alone quest lines. For many who have already paid the $15 in order to get into the pre-access of Kenshi, and they don't even have a main quest line, after 6 years in development, that's the last straw. They can't do it anymore. And you can see that too from some of the backers on Steam who have given negative reviews because of it. That being said, if you're going to pay $15 into it, I would caution you, I should say, that you're probably bargaining on getting a game that may or may not be eventually finished. If you're paying the $15, you have to pay the $15 knowing you're getting the game as is right now. And is the game for $15 worth it? And that question, is it worth it, is the reason I'm framing this review in this way. I argue yes. The game as is, if you buy it today without it ever being finished, is worth the $15. And this is why. This game succeeds spectacularly in something that most games in recent memory fail miserably at: atmosphere. Kenshi is a world that is bleak, unforgiving, and actively despises the player character. In the exotic wonder and vastness, there is also strangeness and emptiness. In the same way that Minecraft was successful for giving you a world to impose your choices on, Kenshi makes a canvas to project your creativity on, but only if you can earn it. The way that you earn it is by survival. The first hours of this game are a desperate struggle of loss, frustration, and disappointment. There's a review on Steam by Stone Templar, I'm gonna call him out on this one, that perfectly explains this dynamic. Hour 1. Yeah, this one might be a refund. Hour 2. Yeah, this is silly, running around in a low-res desert, weird glitches, just ain't a good game. Hour 20. My outpost lives on the edge of the sands of death. Traders come now and then, but overall we maintain neutral relations. There's a genius to this setup. As you curse the game, slowly limping away from a field of carcasses and trying to scavenge what you can to make a living, the game is teaching you what to expect, but it's also making you its enemy. This is not a game that you just play. This is a game that you want to beat, and you want to beat it because it's throwing all of this unfair bullshit at you. There really is a harken back to RPGs of yore, like Baldur's Gate or Fallout, where you started out with all the strength and survivability of a comatose Dachshund. Only by understanding the game, knowing when to run, what challenges you could go up against, and how to improve, would you survive. In surviving, you understood how to improve, and in improving, you started to flourish. The single greatest moment in any game is when you become what you feared at the beginning, a harbinger of death and destruction on your foes. The feeling of triumph over adversity, succeeding against the odds, and reversing the bitterness of defeat onto your adversaries is something that I, myself, have long missed in games of today. The atmosphere, like I was saying before, just reinforces this feeling. The addition of Eastern culture feels like it's playing an homage to Akira Kurosawa classics. There's a gameplay mechanic where, by losing to an opponent but surviving, you get tougher, and by consequence it makes future fights easier. That progression choice is absolutely inspired. If game makers take nothing else from this game, that mechanic needs to be it. Think about it, instead of degrading the experience of getting your ass handed to you, it actually makes your character better. That seems like a weird thing to incentivize in a game about survival, but think back to those Kurosawa films I was mentioning earlier. Think back to all those stories about a plucky young adventurer that starts making their way in the world as a naive but well-meaning character. They face some sort of adversity, hardship, and ultimately defeat, only to survive, become stronger, and wiser to prevail in the end. That's not only a great natural progression, it is the quintessential hero's story. At the start, you are not a hero. You must earn it. You must become one through determination, dedication, and maybe a healthy want of revenge. That's why the first few hours of this game is such a slog. It's because you aren't that hero yet. You're becoming that hero through trials and tribulations. And only after that are you able to progress to a point where maybe you start hiring a couple more people to have your back. And as a result of that shared survival, you're able to get enough resources to build a house. And then, after you get a house, you're able to secure it enough that it becomes a home, a base of operations, until a point where you've hired enough people that it actually becomes a base. The number of people you command will slowly swell until you have the money, resources, and manpower to build permanent collection resources. To protect your resource collectors, you need walls and defenses, and you need to send traders out with your resources to afford blueprints for the defenses and walls, and you need more resources in order to trade. Until you are Lord High Commander of the Infestation's armies of control. Yes, bow to me, peasants. I am your lord. I am your misanthropic lord. In the end, this game is not perfect, and it's not going to be for everyone. But if you are someone who enjoys taking some time just for the sake of atmosphere, exploration, and just enough of a game to make an empire, then Kenshi is a jack of all trades that keeps its end of the bargain with the promise of just a little bit more in the future. And that was worth $15 for me. Is it worth $15 to you? Maybe. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, this is the Misanthropic Lord, signing off. That is not only a great natural progression, that is the lost it. Fuck.